Hey everybody, I just wanted to fill you in from the last video of the progress that I've made so far, if you can call it progress. Um, I am officially a Liberty University Flame. So there's that. I got accepted by Liberty University out of Virginia. Um, I'm now enrolled in their aviation bachelor's program. Still have a few things to go on that. I still have to register my classes and complete my financial stuff. I filled out that FAFSA application. That thing is no joke. I mean, all those poor kids that kept complaining about, oh, FAFSA, FAFSA in college, I get it now. And I'm sorry that I rubbed my GI Bill in your face. That was not very nice. I miss it. I miss it a lot. The GI Bill is so much nicer. I could just walk in there, talk to my military people, and say, hey, I have the GI Bill. Send me to school. And they did. And I was just, go. Um, this FAFSA thing is a lot of work. But it's there for a reason. And without it, I probably wouldn't even be able to travel down this road. So at the same time, I'm grateful. But it's a lot of work, and I got to continue on with that. Apparently, I have to still file for my loan, and I don't know. I got to talk to Liberty about it, but still, well on my way academically. Um, I even went and got my medical done already, my flight medical. Got a class 2, which is what is required. Actually, I think only class 3 is required by the aviation school that I'm flying out of at the Lakefront Airport. So class 2 is a little bit of a go-getter. But I found out after I took my certification, buddy, that airline pilots require class 1. So part of the reason why I wanted to go get it done, I wanted to make sure that I could do the job that I'm going for after. So I probably should have gotten a class 1, but it's not really necessary until after I've gone through school. So kind of good news, but not quite the whole story. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll be healthy when I am finished with everything. So we'll just have to play it by ear, see how it goes. In the meantime, a lot of things going on just in general. I know the challenge that lies before me. Working full time, potentially 2 jobs, while going to school full time and getting my flight hours. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot stacked up against me, but I remain unfazed. This is something I definitely want to do, and if I didn't want to do it, knowing the challenge that it's going to be, I would not even be trying. I'd be like, not worth it. But I think it will be. I get some motivation out of thinking about things like, my fiance and I have plans in the future for going to a family member's wedding next year this time, and we were just talking about travel plans and things like that, and I was like, buddy, said, by this time next year I'll probably have my private pilot's license. I might be able to fly us to the wedding, and everything's like that now. Like every time there's like hey, we have this thing to do in Dallas or this thing to do in wherever. My mind immediately goes to, hey, I might be able to fly us there, which would be cool. And it helps me get my hours, which is the more important part. Probably more expensive than actually driving or flying commercially or anything like that, or on an airline or whatever. But if it helps me achieve my goal, then probably a good way to go about it. So I'm excited about that aspect of it. I'm excited about little things like that in the future. So hoping I can make it all happen. That being said, excuse me. Lots of stuff going on all at once, and it gets kind of hard to stay totally motivated and focused, really. So many things taking my attention everywhere. Getting married in 32 days, just a little bit, in fact. Honeymoon, all the things that are going on with it. It's starting to become winter time, so turned my heater on, that's broken. My dryer's broken. Like, adulthood, guys. I know you know, but adulthood is rough. Things are just happening all at once, and it's a lot to take in. But my fiance has been a great strength for me, and the motivation to become a pilot is definitely a big driving force as well. So making it as best as I can. Still determined. That's the big key, is if you can keep reminding yourself why you're doing something and where you're trying to get to, and not so much focus on things that you still have to do or that are falling apart or anything like that. It really does kind of help you push past it, because that's all you can really do with these obstacles, is just push past them. So working on it. This past weekend was Veterans Day and the Marine Corps' birthday. Hoorah! Happy birthday, Marines. Just want to send out a big shout out to all my veteran brothers and sisters out there. Hope you all had a good weekend, and that one thing that I had a conversation recently about it. It's good to see that people still value military service. It's one of those things where you kind of don't know if it's a fad or a trend or things like that, because it's a generational thing, I guess. World War II generation, those guys came home and they were celebrated, and yay, the war is over, and then they just became regular Joe Blows. It's just kind of, oh yeah, I heard he fought in the war one time. And Vietnam, obviously we all know, is a totally different story. And now, it's almost like people, it makes people feel good to recognize, veteran service. Some people feel kind of weird about it. A lot of veterans don't like being thanked. I personally don't really care one way or the other. I didn't do it for anybody else. I did it for myself in a lot of ways, because it's what I'd always wanted to do. And for a big part of me, I did it so that I could go be with other Marines and help them. My whole reason for joining the Marine Corps is because there were Marines fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan when I was in high school, and I wanted to go see what I could do to help. So, that's who I did it for. I'd almost rather be thanked by other Marines. But when people ask me, say, "Hey, thank you for your service," I just say, "Thank you for your taxes." And I turn it into a kind of a joke, and people get a chuckle out of it. It kind of lightens the mood, because it's a heavy thing, and most people say it like in passing. Just, "Hey, thank you for your service." And it's like, you want me to talk about it? Like, want me to tell you about my service past? But anyways, a long story short of it, I appreciate the appreciation, I guess. I'm glad that people are still on board, with trying to understand how veterans feel. I kind of wish we could all understand how everybody feels. The world will be a better place. In the meantime, thank you to everyone who has been viewing my video. I think I'm up to like 13 viewers, so whoopee, I'm a YouTube celebrity. If you guys like my videos, you're probably huge nerds, so you should go check out my friends over at Nerd Squish. They're one of my subscribers, one of my first comments on my page. They have lots of really cool videos about, you know, horror stuff and cosplay stuff, and just all things nerdy. Really cool stuff on there. Go check them out. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, or if you just want to offer some words of encouragement, or you know, if you like the video, if you don't like the video, if you think I'm boring, just go ahead and tell me in the comments down below. Because like I said, this beyond flight school, this whole YouTube thing is new to me as well. So it's kind of neat to see that people are at least watching. So let me know what you think, and I'll be keeping you guys posted, updated in the future. Probably once I get registered, get all my classes registered, I'll be able to come on here and tell you which classes I've registered for, what my first semester is going to be, and then the fun begins. I'm really excited to start getting into the technical stuff with you guys and go over my classes. Part of my motivation for doing this, the YouTube thing, is to help me study. You know, in the Marine Corps we learned a learning style called Learn, Do, Teach, where you do a classroom setting, then a practical application, and then you teach a class on it. And the teaching of the class, by that time, you've really mastered your craft. And so my hope is to help retain some knowledge by you know, kind of talking about what I've learned as I'm learning it. And then hopefully one day be able to look back on it and be like, man, you know, I can't believe I had such a hard time with whatever it is. You know, and by that time I'll have nailed it, hopefully. So once again, thank you so much for checking out my videos. I appreciate it. Valued watchers. And I will hopefully see you guys soon.